Welcome to Authentic with Brazil 201. I am your host, Brazil 201, your future Golden Globe nominee. So it's currently like around 5 in the morning, Monday. I kind of wanted to do this podcast real quick before whatever nonsense happens today because clearly this will all be out of date by 5 p.m. Eastern. So I figure why not just do the entire topics? As you all know, there's LA riots, and Democrats had their abundance fest for center left Dems, and they're finally going to learn how it's time to fight back against their cringe advocacy groups that have tainted the Democratic brand, but also the lawlessness of what's happening in the LA riot shows a huge fundamental problem once again with Democrats. So first, CBS had a poll that came out Sunday that obviously was taken before the LA riots that shows mass deportation still has a 55% approval rating that people want mass deportations. Next, this is, by the way, unlike 2016 in regards to the Trump election. Trump actually won the popular vote, and this was the key thing. And all the polling still shows mass deportation is a popular policy, and not just criminals and violent things and all that. People want everybody gone, okay? And maybe a key thing is that the assimilation of waves of European immigrants in the U.S. from, let's say, 1865 to 1924 happened through state cohesion, and people were forcibly integrated into the English language. Generally, Anglo-American traditions, and it worked. And people, they Americanized their names. Now, what we've been doing since 1965 is the entire world has basically been invited to America, and then we're just letting everyone do their own thing, and now there is no really assimilation or cohesion at all in America. You see this in New York, you see this in LA. There's a lot of subgroups that are not really assimilating. It's basically little countries within America. And I know everyone's like, well, America was founded on immigrants and blah, 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 blah. We're seeing the same issue happen in countries all over the world, is that within these refugee programs and mass immigration systems, the culture of said countries isn't working when now it's basically a lot of different countries. There used to be one whole thing that made everyone, similar. Now this is just it, and there's a reason why there's a lot of division. There's no cohesion at all. You have a bunch of people who still have somehow been living in America in 30 years and still can't speak English. And if you think that is the design of a lot of fucking some of the country, it's not, okay? Because if all these mass migration things were educated people who spoke English and didn't look like you know how we always see when we do these flashbacks on TV shows of third world countries, this would be it. And now people are going to be like, don't you care what's happening to other people? First of all, we're seeing now with the USAID thing, people do not care what happens in other countries. And this is not even just in regards to the to the fucking tragedies in Gaza or Palestine or whatever. Do you not remember the commercials that used to air when you were a child on like Nickelodeon or Cartoon Network? There's starving children in Africa. With just your help, if you call this number with $10 a month, you could save a kid in Africa. I don't know if you know this, but the average person still didn't give a shit back then. Okay? They would just change the channel. People do not care what happens to people who are not them. Okay? The average median person is similar to me, a self centered narcissist who only cares about themselves and likes classiness. Okay? I don't care what is happening to other people who are not me. Very simple. I don't care what Israel is doing to Palestine at all, which is why whenever I see these stupid, annoying pro-Palestine protests and that they're like, oh, genocide Joe. Oh, I've got about Palestine forever since October 7, 2023. Palestine is the best. Blah, 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 blah. Look at my blue hair. My pronouns are they, them. Like all that nonsense. Like, no, shut the fuck up, okay? You want attention. Okay, you don't really care for any of this, which once again comes back to the situation in regards to the LA riots that are happening. And obviously, if you think it's okay to shut down, this comes back to the whole thing is that Democrats seem to get caught up with this image that you care about everyone else but actual Americans. Okay? And there's another thing that annoyed me is like on Wednesday or Thursday, Bakari Sellers, stupid ass on CNN, said they're undocumented citizens. Shut the fuck up. you fucking retard. Because Bakari was one of the fucking retards on TV saying Joe Biden is mentally fine. He's gonna be the nominee. Blah blah blah. Don't listen to Bakari Sellers. Bakari Sellers is a fucking retard, which then goes back to this other situation that was happening. They were having a debate on Medicaid or universal health care. And by the way, the median voter does support a version of universal health care. Now, is that the version where private insurance no longer exists and everyone's on Medicare? No, but they believe in a version of universal health care. Okay? But you had the annoying blonde chick who's like some pro Palestine activist. Once again, the cringe thing of everyone who's under 28, who's like, Palestine is the most important country in the world. Here are my pronouns, saying yes, illegals should be on a version of a universal healthcare. I don't know if you know this, but currently in countries that are not America with universal healthcare, they do not want their illegals and refugees on their universal system. Also, the median voter in America will never buy into a version of universal healthcare that allows illegals to get it. Okay? This is what the fucking that annoying blonde bitch doesn't seem to understand, or fucking Bakari Sellers. Okay, and once again, this is how you get all these fucking they them ad type things. Because listen, I don't agree with Scott Jennings, but you're never going to get a version of universal healthcare. That's like, yes, illegals can get it too. No, U.S. citizens only. This is the whole thing with all these fucking programs. Nobody wants illegals on these programs. Okay, this whether Democrats seem to justice or not, America is now more of a nationalist type country. Oh, mixed with individualism, okay? Because Americans care about themselves first, not others, and everyone can tell what is fake pandering, like the stupid New York mayor getting arrested at the ICE thing. We could tell, oh wow, look at me. I care so much about these illegals and what's happening. Like, no, you don't. No one really cares. Because I'm pretty sure a lot of these people in the fucking LA are just pretending they care. And they're there for the vibes, for the Instagram. This is like fucking 2020 again. It's like, look at me. I'm here, this and this. And look, this is just gonna give more proof that, like, Trump wants to squash it. And, Trump doesn't want to see anything more than like just harming these blue hair vegan activists that are like, saying abolish ICE or blah blah blah. How do you plan to enforce immigration laws? Because here's the thing, we're still seeing the polling. Mass deportation is very popular because Hospice Joe made parts of the country look like Narcos, right? When fucking Abbott and DeSantis bust every illegal to every blue city in America, you got the actual, the median voters like, yeah, I want to kick all these fucking people out. Now, obviously, you still have the fucking Zoran Free Palestine idiot saying, we're an open borders country, everybody's welcome, and they're just retards who will never like win an election outside of Bushwick, Queens, and parts of Los Angeles, but let them be. And we saw this during Abundance Fest or whatever the fuck that shit Ezra Klein like organized with center left Democrats, that they're finally going to realize it's time to fight back against the cringe advocacy groups. Okay, no more listening, but even beyond fighting the advocacy groups, Democrats need to learn for their staffers and communications to stop hiring people with fucking pronouns in their resume or pronouns in their bio. Because this comes back to the catalyst data. Okay? Men do not feel welcome in the Democratic Party because structurally, across any version of these fucking Democrat staffers, because I guess these jobs are paid dirt cheap, which explains why it's only cringe activists who work here, right? Is that, these they, them, annoying activist, blue hair fucking people obviously hate straight men unless they are a fucking flamboyant loser like Harry Sison or Tim Walz, right? Because, oh my god, they said retard. Oh my god, they don't think fat is beautiful, right? But then, the people who speak for Democrats or get hired at these things to do speeches is like that ugly fat bitch that I can't tell. I still have no idea to this day if that thing was true, because I know the Sam thing where we're going to pay $20 million to like to talk to men, and then like I saw the article that's like Democrats or some pack has hired that ugly fat chick to speak to men. Yes, because men clearly want to speak to that ugly fat chick or they, them, blue hair vegan or whatever fucking bullshit that is happening. Listen, all I'm saying, if I were to run for president, I do not want any of these fucking cringe activists. Okay? And I think it's addition by subtraction because it's amazingly how there is an overlap between the annoying free Palestine uglies to the abolish ICE idiots to the pronoun in bios to the body positive, all the fucking stupid people hate that they like attach Democrats with, like the men and women sports advocates and all the nonsense. They're all overlap with the same type of cringe advocacy that nobody likes, and they're all like annoyingly activists who shout DSA and Free Palestine and Allahu Akbar and all the other, I don't know what else the fuck they're doing. But look, Laura, what's her name? Let me get this. The other, like the DNC shit, right? With Kevin, what the fuck is his name? Ken White, whatever his name, and David Hogg introvert fight where he's like, I don't want to be DNC anymore. I thought I could just, coast on us not being Trump. Well, you, saying that you think everyone who's currently over 70 should stay in office is also a clearly fucking, problem. We've had 3 70-year-old or older die in office because Democrats constantly think that is how you should go out. You should be in office until the day you die. And now people are actually tired of it. And look, I'm a center left type person. Okay, I have some popular. I believe in a version of universal health care for U.S. citizens, not for illegals. I don't believe it, but I also believe in mass deportation. And also, ironically, those two are both popular policies that poll similar, which means there's an overlap in voters. I understand the ugly pronoun and bio people don't seem to understand that because they live in the fantasy world where Palestine first, illegal second, and America's a colonizer, blah, 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 blah. All the nonsense. But that's all I'm saying. I don't really care what, the Zoran supporters say. I can't wait to see them cry when Cuomo wins the nomination in 3 weeks. It's similar to New Jersey tomorrow because the equivalent of Zoran uglies are the Ross Baraka fans. I don't know if you know this, but Newark is one of the worst cities in New Jersey. Nobody wants to be Newark, New Jersey.